What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Seto Mirza here, coming at you with a deck profile. This time, first in real life deck profile actually posting on this channel. And of course, it's going to be featuring my favorite deck. It's going to be Harpie Combo, probably the deck that you guys have come to this channel in the first place for. It's the deck that I've been pushing in the lab pretty much since, this whole pandemic started, and I've been having a lot of fun just seeing how far we can take Harpies as a combo engine. There's going to be a bit of a longer deck profile just because I've only really been uploading replay content, so I haven't really gotten to share my thoughts on all of these cards and what my justification is for playing them, unless you're a part of the Harpie Discord, in which case you've probably seen me theory crafting a lot on there. So shout out to everybody from the Harpie Discord for all of the help that they gave into coming along with these strategies as it's been built on over time. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Going to start off with a deck profile and then go into a couple of combo tutorials at the end. So to start off, we have our 3 Harpie Channelers. So Harpie Channeler is probably the best card to resolve in the deck in terms of the Harpies. She gives you 3 bodies on board, and just really, really strong. Just gets the whole combo going. You can full combo with the Channeler or any 2 Winged Beasts or any 3 Winged Beasts is the full combo. 2 Winged Beasts is the bear combo, the minimum. So that's Harpie Channeler. And then we have the 1-card combo, Harpie Perfumer. So my theory is everything in this deck has been built around Harpie Perfumer and just seeing how far 1 card can get you. Really, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Has shown that if you have one card starters with room to be able to play tech cards or extenders, that's usually the best way to build a deck going forward. So Harpie Perfumer acts as that 1-card combo enabler in this deck. Channeler also gets it going, but it's technically like 1.5 cards because you need to discard the Harpie. So Harpie Perfumer, MVP for the 1-card combo. Next, we have our vanillas, so our egotist targets. We have our 2 Harpie Ladies, and we have our Harpie Lady 1. The vanillas are for unexpected die. In previous builds, I was also playing Imduck, the Link 1, where you could use this to just link off any of the vanillas to get a dragon on board and be able to modulate channelers level to 7 whenever you want. But in this build, I've cut it, so therefore I've also cut down the vanillas from 3 to 2 and gave room for the extra Harpie Lady 1 for that 300 attack boost. Comes in handy sometimes, boosting up your Samorg and your barrier statue and whatnot. And then next we have the one-ofs, Harpie Harpist, Harpie Oracle, and Harpie Queen. All of these cards have their niche utility. Harpie Queen obviously searches for the hunting ground. Also 900 beater helps you get over problems. Kind of like Winda if you were able to boost it up with Lady 1 or the field spell. Harpie Harpist is nice to be able to go second. You can normal summon her and use it to bait an interruption from the opponent. If you control another Winged Beast monster, you can target that Winged Beast you control other than itself and a monster that your opponent controls and bounce them both. So your opponent can be forced to use a negate there, which kind of comes up. But its main reasoning is for the end phase search effect, where we can bring it out with like a Swallow's Nest or Harpie Channeler, or even with Samorg later on in the ground game. And then Harpie Oracle is great for the recursion, where you're able to add back cards like Elegant Egotist from your grave, because we only run 2, and if you end up using both of them, then you can bring out Oracle with Samorg effect, and then use Oracle to recycle back your Egotist from the grave. They're mainly here just for Harpie names, for discarding off of Channeler. And also I like having 12 Harpie actual monsters in the deck, just to maximize the chances that your Egotist and Swallow's Nest are both live. Next, we got my favorite Winged Beast extender, the Lyralusk Turquoise Warbler. So the reason why I like this card over a card like Cock-a-Doodle-Doo is Cock-a-Doodle-Doo is a tuner, but it's got a little bit more restrictions. It's not consistently level 4, which would kind of get me to play it over the Lyralusk, but most of the time when you're going first, it's going to be level 3. But the Lyralusk is nice because it doesn't conflict with unexpected die, where if you open die plus Turquoise Warbler, you're still able to full combo just by being able to normal summon this. And also if you open multiples of these, they actually act as even more bodies on the field. They can swarm because its effect when it's special summoned, it's an inherent summon, and on special summon it can special back another Lyralusk card from your hand or grave, including itself. So if you open multiples, it's actually even better. So that's why we're going with the Turquoise Warbler. And then next, going into the Dragon package, we have double Dragunity Phalanx. Yes, 2 Phalanx. We are scared of bricking. I've done the math on this, and only running one Phalanx actually increases your brick chances by about 6.5% in this deck. Since we're not running Striker Dragon, we really need Romulus to resolve. So running the double Phalanx is really, really good for that. The chances of bricking on Phalanx when you have 2 in the deck is less than 1%. So I'm very confident in running 2. Definitely works out with the math. And also, Phalanx is a starter in this deck where if you open Phalanx plus a Lyralusk Turquoise Warbler or like an unexpected die, you're still able to full combo off. And there's also some niche combos where if you open Phalanx plus Divine Lance and you're playing 2 Phalanx, you can normal summon the Phalanx, activate Divine Lance, and then equip the second Phalanx from deck, summon it back out, and be able to go into Needle Fiber from there. So there is some plays that you can get with the double Phalanx, but you'll see from the combos later, this really is the heart and soul of how we're able to just kind of get out. It's just so much free material with this Phalanx. Plus, it's perfect. It's a dragon. It's a tuner. It's level 2. Just fits the bill. It's not once per turn. Really, really strong card here, Dragunity Phalanx. And his partner in crime in this deck is DMZ Dragon. So DMZ Dragon also is not once per turn. This is going to be our target that we bring out with Elpie. And you can use it to re-equip Phalanx from the grave back to it and bring Phalanx back out. So this is kind of the way that we abuse Phalanx multiple times as DMZ Dragon. Really, really clutch and probably slept on card for sure. I feel like Dragonlink could abuse this as well. It's really, really good to bring out with Elpie if you are also playing the Dragunity package. Next, we have our one of Rocket Tracer. This is for the quick draw or quick launch package. Sorry, it's level 4 is why I'm playing it over the Rocket Synchron. And yeah, quick launch. I'll get into it more in detail when we get there. Next, we have our Vylon Cube. This is used as part of the combo. It makes Herald and searches us a Living Fossil. Not really any other card in the game that can do what Vylon Cube does. Really, really clutch to be able to get the Herald out plus another body. So it's really nice. Not using it for any smoke grenade shenanigans, but maybe in the future. We'll see. Next, we have our WinCon, Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. So the reason why we play this over the Infinite Negates is because it requires 1 less brick. And also the Barrier Statue is playable by itself, like where if you just don't open anything else, you can just normal summon the Barrier Statue and kind of stun your opponent out for a turn and guarantee that you survive until the next turn. Whereas the Apex Avian kind of just sits in the hand and can't really do anything. I also like the Barrier Statue because it prevents the board from being able to get Kaiju'd. The Infinite Negates build loses specifically to just one Gamma Seal on like, just one Kaiju will just end that entire board. Whereas with the Barrier Statue, they have to specifically be playing the Wind Kaiju, which I don't see many people doing anymore. People are just choosing to run Gamma Seal because it's easy to beat over. And so the Wind Barrier Statue prevents your opponent from being able to Kaiju you. And it also is really easy to play under with the Harpies since they're all Wind. And we play some Wind extra deck monsters as well that are able to make off of under the Barrier Statue. Moving on into the spells, we got double Elegant Egotist. The OG Harpie Extender, not once per turn, summons out either of the vanilla Harpies or Harpie Lady 1 from the deck. The reason why we're playing 2 is because it's searchable, so really only need 1. But the second one is nice to come up in the grind games. And also, it's good to open, where if you open like an Elegant Egotist plus Channeler, you can normal summon Channeler, activate Egotist, and kind of insulate yourself before activating Channeler effect to still be able to pop off from there. So yeah, only 2 Egotist. We recur. If we need the third one, we'll recur it back using Oracle. Next, we have our honorary third Harpie, Unexpected Die. With the 12 Harpie count in the main deck, plus the 3 Unexpected Die, gives us like 15 total starters. So Unexpected Die is really good because it also helps you get a Harpie on board without committing your normal summon, which is a huge weakness with Harpies in general. We don't really have that many good in-archetype extenders that don't rely on the normal summon. Pretty much everything needs like a Harpie on field to be able to work. So Unexpected Die, able to get the Harpie on board without normal summoning is really nice. And a card that combos really well with Unexpected Die, we have Swallow's Nest. I'm choosing to play Swallow's Nest over Hysteric Sign. Yes, I know it's unpopular opinion in Harpies why we aren't playing Hysteric Sign. My reasoning behind it is Hysteric Sign only works while you already have a Harpie on board, which is the same with Swallow's Nest, so they kind of conflict with each other that way. And Hysteric Sign, there's no consistent way to discard it in this build of the deck. So for that reason, I'm choosing not to run it, and instead we're going to go with Swallow's Nest, where Swallow's Nest can also be used defensively, where if your opponent tries to Imperm or Veiler or Ogre, your Perfumer or Channeler effect, or any of the Harpies that are activating on board, then you can chain Swallow's Nest, tribute off the Harpie, and then get its effect to resolve while also replacing its body on the board, which is really nice. You can also use Swallow's Nest to tag out a Harpie into the barrier statue as well, which is something that not a lot of people know. So yeah, for that reason, I'm playing Swallow's Nest. Just Imperm is so present in the format, and since we don't have a consistent way to discard Hysteric Sign. And then for the last extender, we are playing Quick Launch. So Quick Launch is my other favorite extender in this deck. Reason being is you can just activate it at any time, and it gives you a Dragon Tuner. So if your board gets like Nibiru'd, then you're able to, if you hold the Quick Launch, you can Quick Launch out your Rocket Tracer, and then use the Nibiru token plus Rocket Tracer to go into Crystron Halqifibrax and continue comboing from there. Quick Launch is also really nice because you can use it, like I said, you can use it at any time. There's no restrictions. It's just a lot better than playing more Egotist or Hysteric Sign in this build, I feel like, just because you don't need that Harpie on board to be able to use Quick Launch. But I totally understand if you don't want to play Quick Launch. It is a Harpie deck, so we cut this for 3 Hysteric Signs and probably cut the Rocket Tracer for another Harpie of your choice and call it a day if you'd like to do it like that. And then for the one of equips, we have Living Fossil and Dragunity Divine Lance. Both of these are used as part of the combo. Yeah, not really much to say about these. Take a look at the combo video if you want to see how they're used. Going on into the traps, we have the heart and soul of the deck, Harpie's Featherstorm. Definitely the #1 reason to play Harpies as a combo engine, I feel like. This kind of acts like Azathoth as a hand trap, which can be used both offensively and defensively. So this is kind of like serves the purpose of like Miscellaneousaurus almost in this deck. It doesn't give us bodies, but it gives us blanket protection for monster effects on either our own turn or the opponent's turn, and really helps you play through multiple hand traps, and is the in-archetype way to play through Nibiru. So definitely the best card in my opinion in the entire deck. And finally, our hand traps. We are only playing the 3 Infinite Impermanents. So originally I was playing Gamma just because if we only have room to play one hand trap in this format, I think Gamma is probably the best one just because it can single-handedly stop combos, like if you Gamma on the Romulus or like the Isolde. But even if you Gamma at those times, if the combo deck is good enough, like opens a good enough hand, they can still combo through it where that one hand trap still, even if it's a high impact hand trap, sometimes won't be enough. So for that reason, I decided to play Imperm instead, because there's only really enough room for one hand trap if we want to keep the deck at 40. And so Imperm to me is the most versatile one. You can top deck it for your 6th card. You can use it to bait an interruption that way. If your combo gets stopped, you can set Imperm and use it to try and interrupt your opponent on their turn, whereas Gamma would just sit dead in your hand if you have to pass with like a Romulus on board. And yeah, it also plays around Triple Tactics Talent. So for that reason, I choose to just main Imperm. Usually in this format, if you're going second against a combo deck, you're going to need to open multiple hand traps. So even if this were a Gamma, in most cases, it's probably not going to be enough anyway. So just go with Imperm and hope for the best. Moving on into the extra deck, we have double Dragunity Knight Romulus. So Romulus is the heart and soul of the combo for this kind of deck, since we're not playing, Striker Dragon. It uses dragons and or winged beasts, so it's very versatile in that way, where usually we're either making it with 2 winged beasts or a dragon and a winged beast. And the reason we play 2 is because if the first one gets stopped, we're able to make another one, the second Romulus on the next turn, and try to play through. And if the first one goes through, then we actually need another Dragon Link 2 later in the combo, so we might as well just use another Romulus because, it doubles as a starter. So double Romulus there. Next, we have the broken cards, Link Cross and Crystron Halqifibrax. Konami's letting us use these cards, so we're going to choose to abuse them for as long as we can. I fully expect Link Cross to be the one that gets hit on the ban list, just because I think Fiber without instant access into being able to use that tuner for synchro summons is not nearly as strong. And probably one of the strongest things that you're going to be able to do with just Fiber with no Link Cross is going to go into like Auroradon. And even if you go into Auroradon, that combo will still most likely lose to one hand trap. So I think Link Cross is definitely the problem here. But while they're both in the format, we're going to abuse them while we can. Next, we have the Samorg Link 3. This is definitely the motivating factor on why I kind of picked up Harpies to abuse as a combo deck back in like February when this card came out. Or early March when this card came out. This card is just busted. Like, it's targeting protection, brings out any wing beast from deck. It just keeps the Harpie engine going. It's just an amazing card. I'm really glad they made it balanced by needing a winged beast and not being able to be used as link material after this. Otherwise, I think it would just be too broken. It's got amazing arrows to use for guard dragon plays and just all around like MVP of the extra deck for sure. Then we have our guard dragons, Pisty and Elpie. Both of these guys are just used as extra deck extenders to. I mean, you'll see what DMZ Dragon does. It's pretty insane. But yeah, these guys just give you so much free material. These two guys alone will, I mean, just one Phalanx under the Simorg alone will give you both of these. But if you resolve Elpie into DMZ Dragon, it's going to get you IP-PHRA Max. And if you have another level 4 Winged Beast, then it'll get you IP-PHRA Max plus a Crystal Wing, which is absolutely insane. Fully expect Elpie to be banned on the next list as well. And then for the final two links, we have the IP-PHRA Max package. This guy's just like a towers on his own. Like really, really hard for some decks to out. It's like an alternate win con by itself. Just gives battle protection to the entire board and targeting and destruction protection for himself. So really, really strong. Going into the synchros, we have Martial Metal Marcher and Herald. These two guys, just, pretty standard, used in almost every single Link Cross deck. So not really much to say there. And then for the final two synchros, we have the Dragunity Knight Vadriana and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So both of these two guys are nice because they're wins, so we can make them underneath the barrier statue. And Vadriana is another way to recur Phalanx from the grave again. So we can use Phalanx 4 times in one turn, which is absolutely insane. Crystal Wing, just another generic monster negate that also gets really big when you try to battle. So a lot more pressure added on the board with these two, and also can be made underneath the barrier statue. And then going into the Xyz, we have our Traptrix Rafflesia. Rafflesia is nice for siding the Gravedigger's Trap Hole for when going first, so that we can get out an extra deck monster negate for Nibiru on the 5th summon in case we don't open the Featherstorm. So I only side the Gravedigger's Trap Hole because main 1 I don't expect as many hand traps to be in, but games 2 and 3. That's when Rafflesia really comes into shine. And then finally, we have Lightning Chidori. This is probably the best utility rank 4 that Harpies can make because it requires 2 level 4 wins. It can get rid of 2 cards on the board, and you can make it underneath the barrier under the barrier statue, which is great. It also sets your opponent back a turn, where if you use its effect to send a face-up card back to the top of their deck, then you know what their top deck is going to be for the next turn, and you can pretty much guarantee your victory that way. So Chidori, really nice follow-up, or for follow-up after making your board, or for going second and trying to just break boards. Moving on into the side deck, we have Gravedigger's Trap Hole and Imperial Order. So these are the 2 cards that I bring in from going first. Usually I'll bring in Red Reboot as well, but this got other utility. But this is what I'll swap in the Imperm for. Imperial Order, just to play around Dark Ruler, which is usually being sided now, thanks to all the prevalence of Smoke Grenade. And then Gravedigger's Trap Hole to bring in for the Traptrix Rafflesia for games 2 and 3. Imperial Order is also really strong because literally the only card this deck loses to is Dark Ruler, like I said. But it also stops a lot of other problem cards like Kaiju Slumber, or just pretty much anything your opponent's going to try and use to break your board. You can usually just flip the order and then just extend Handshake from there. So really, really strong Floodgate. The only one I'd consider worth playing in the main or siding. The other one probably would be Trap Trick, just for more copies of the Featherstorm. And then for back row removal, we have the Holy Trinity, the Red Reboot, the Dinosaur Pancratops, and the Harpie Feather Duster. Duster not in the main, just because back row not too prevalent right now. It is an out to Mystic Mine, and it is searchable technically if in this deck if Featherstorm gets popped. Usually people are searching it with Hysteric Sign, but since there's no consistent way to discard Sign in this deck, choosing to keep it in the side. And I've also moved Harpie's Hunting Ground into the side as well. Just I usually like having it in the main just because it's that main deck out to Mystic Mine, which is really nice. But I wanted to really wanted to keep the list at 40. And yeah, the easiest way I could do that would be moving Hunting Ground into the side. And yeah, you can choose to maybe cut like a Lyralusk Turquoise Warbler if you really want to main it, I think. But I'm choosing to side it in this build. And then finally, we have our hand traps. So, of course, Artifact Lancia. Dinosaurs, really big problem. This also stops Chaos Space. It also stops any kind of invoked strategy from being able to use Invocation Banish from the grave. And like stuff like Grand Maju or Phantom Knights are going to be big in the next format, most likely. So I see Lancia sticking around for a long time to come. Just really, really strong card. Very versatile. And then we have the old solid rock, Nibiru. Obviously, not much to say here. Nibiru is Nibiru. Just bring it in against the combo decks. And then finally, I am choosing to play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Reason being is Red Eyes Fusion is a card. Not many cards can interact with it. Really, only Ash can. And as well as Nidier's Servant. Both of those cards are very strong if they resolve. So Ash Blossom is kind of my hedge against both of those cards. It also has extra utility against dinosaurs, being able to hit Miscellaneousaurus in the grave. Alright guys, that's been my Harpie combo deck profile for the September 2020 format. This is probably going to be the last deck list update before Phantom Rage, where the Tri-Brigade support comes in. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be uploading a combo video after this, so keep posted on the channel. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this deck profile, and if you want to see more from the Seto Mirza, just definitely keep this channel in mind. Peace out.